Do I need a new driver? So in this video, I'm going to go through a few things where I want to see whether I need a new driver or whether I'm going to benefit from a new driver. And this is a process that I go through with a lot of clients to see whether they're going to get more out of a new stick or whether the existing one is just right. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes we just want a new toy for the sake of having a new toy. But I like people to understand that they're just buying a new t-shirt because they've got bored of their old one, and don't buy into the marketing that something's more forgiving when it puts the ball in the same place. Now, first things first, the driver that I've got in the bag at the minute is the Cleveland Launcher XL. It has some limitations, but it works very, very well for me. So the Cleveland Launcher XL, this is the adjustable one. So the light version is the one that doesn't have the adjustability. It's got a nice big footprint there, and it's a really forgiving, big-headed club. You only get this driver in one loft, so it does have a little bit of limitation there. We've got an adapter on here that lets us move it to 9 degree, up to that 10.5 degree, and then up to that 12. So we've got some adjustability here, but we don't have the choice in different heads. We do also have the 10.5 flat setting, which allows the head to sit flatter and bring the ball to the right hand side a bit more. Now I'm going to warm up with this driver in its stock shaft, the one that you buy it off the shelf with. We've got the Project X Cypher 50, which is a 6.0 stiff flex in this one. It's a 50 gram shaft, very lightweight. It's got quite a stable tip section, so we don't get as much twisting on off-center hits. Now I'm using the Srixon ZX5 because it's got a slightly harder core, which should give me a bit more ball speed. Oh, let's get nice and loose with this stock shaft and just feel how forgiving it is. Not bad, little push. 2,700 spin, 157 ball speed. It is my first swing of the day, and I am a little bit stiff from the gym. But hopefully I can dust off the cobwebs and loosen up. There we go, a nice high draw, more like my natural shape. 155 ball speed, I'm a little bit slow today. 1900 spin, 301 yards. Now the stock length for these clubs off the shelf is a little bit longer than you normally see in some other drivers. That allows us to create more speed into the ball. In theory, I play most of my shafts much shorter than that. I normally go 44.5 inches or maybe 45 because I like a little bit more control and a little bit more ability to hit the middle of the face more often. So they make a bit of a racket. There is quite a lot of noise that comes off the face. Some people might not like that, but I don't mind it at all as long as the ball goes where I want it to go. Obviously that one didn't. All right, let's turn it on, ramp it up a little bit. 309, 161 ball speed. 163 ball speed. Nah, in the bunker. But I do generally find these heads give really fast ball speeds. Working up into the 160s now, landing at 280 for 308. Now in this stock setup, I do find that I get a bit more bend and release into the ball, so I hit the ball a bit higher, I hit the ball a bit lefter with this club off the shelf. It does also have like an 8 gram plug that goes in the top of the shaft before the grip goes on, which makes this end heavier and it makes it easier to release that club through the ball, aiding height and direction. If you lose the ball to the right, it will certainly help. There we go, got through that one a bit more. 166 ball speed, 287 carry, 2,600 spin. So I need to get that spin down. So the shaft I've been gaming this on is the Ventus Velocore Black 6X. So the Velocore has a more stable tip section, so when we hit the ball off center, we get a lot less deflection and distortion from the shot. And in theory, and on lots of YouTube reviews, it's a very forgiving shaft. So in a fitting, first thing is to warm up. I've done that with the stock shaft. I've now gone into the Ventus Velocore Black 6X, which is the shaft that I was using, so this is my driver. I want to get a baseline for what this does. I want to see how it's flying, how it's performing. I've got this on the 9 degree setting, so it's the lowest loft setting that it has. Could I benefit from less loft? Potentially. So I'm going to try out some different heads after I just get some numbers off here. Nice high draw, that's what I like to see. 160 ball speed, 289 carry. That spin is down to 2,000, which is pushing me up to 313. It's not just the shaft that's important, it's how the shaft and the head marry up to your swing. And the way we determine that is, what does the golf ball do? Ooh, a bit of a push draw. Through the tree, 290 carry, 162 ball speed and 2,200 spin, 310. Straight away my spin's down going into the shaft. It's a lot more stable through the air. Now it could be that you've got a really lightweight regular shaft and going into the stock stiff shaft in this could be a nice combination that gives you the same difference that I get here in stability. Everyone's got a different baseline to work from, but I feel like I can point and shoot with this. I feel like I can aim it and I'm just going to hit that high draw like more often than not. Just like that. Launch is high, 162 ball speed, 294 carry, 2,100 spin, at 315. And I put a silly swing on it and hit one not quite right. I was thinking 3 shots is about right, and then I thought I'll hit 4, but didn't really try. In the water. Now sometimes you maybe buy an upgrade shaft that costs more money. So the Ventus Velocore are like 270, 300 quid per shaft on its own. So, you know, if I put a bit of money into that shaft, I might just try that shaft on a new head just to see what it does. So if we get this on the lowest loft setting on the Srixon ZX5 MK2, this is the normal ZX5. So we've got the weight at the back of the golf club. So in theory, this is a more forgiving head compared to the LS, which I explained in my other video. How does this compare to the Launcher XL? Oh, it's gone right. Wow, I did not get through that one at all. Again, like I'm just more dialed into that Cleveland setup because it's more familiar. I've been using it for so long. Better shot, good launch, 164 ball speed, 2,500 spin, 285 carry, getting up to 305. It does look quite nice at address, but it is definitely a smaller footprint compared to the Cleveland. If we look at the ZX5 there in terms of surface area, and then we put it next to the Cleveland Launcher XL, the Cleveland Launcher XL just has more surface area, which I find a bit more inviting. Okay, nothing good coming from that at the minute. So with that ZX5, I'd probably have to play around with some different shafts because it can't quite do what the Cleveland does with this shaft in it. So that would need further testing, but I know I like this shaft. I know it's very consistent. Let's pick a different head. I'm going to hit a couple with the ZX5 LS, which is the low spin version, on a 10.5 head on the lowest loft setting. So it's got a bit more of a toe-to-toe comparison to the Cleveland. Yeah, nice. 290 carry, 164 ball speed, 2,000 spin, straight up there at 314. So not necessarily better, but I just want to hit a couple more just to see if it can get some more out of it. I think I pushed it. Yep, push draw. Ah, it's hit the tree. On here, 164 ball speed, 294 carry, 2,100 spin. On there, it won't stay the same because it hit a tree. So it come off the face pretty hot. It just came out fairly right. Oh, that's off the heel. Off the heel, and it's still got 1,800 spin, 162 ball speed. How has that gone so well on such a bad strike? 316. I quite enjoyed that, so I just want one more. Again, quite a uniform shape on the screen there, that low draw, or mid-flight draw, call it. Push. Rah. Okay, I'm a little bit more erratic with it. There's a couple of right shots and a couple of really good shots. I'm just going to have a hit with the Hazardous Black Gen 4 6.5, so the same sort of flex as the Velocore, but this is the stock shaft. I'm going to go on -1 loft. Now I like going down in loft for me because I tend to leak the ball to the left, and the open face element of going lower in loft just holds the ball to the right that little bit more. Oh, that felt nice off the face. Bit easier to turn over, so slightly softer shaft, bit more play in it. Not going to hit any more of that, quite healthy at 305, but I just felt that extra play in the shaft. Now I do have a lot of tools at my disposal, but I did have a hit with the LA golf shaft. This is the Trono, and I had a lot of success with it in terms of stopping the ball from going to the left. But at the time when I hit it, I didn't have the LS head, the low spin head, because it stayed to the right, but it spun just a little bit too much. So I'm going a bit mega here. I'm going 9.5 on -1 loft. So this is the LA Golf Trono shaft. It's only 65 stiff, and for a 65 stiff, it plays just as hard as any extra stiff shafts out there in the market. It's been developed by the likes of Bryson DeChambeau. It's got a really stiff midsection, which means that the grip end and the tip end are slightly softer in comparison. We're going to give that a little whack and see how it marries up. God, that felt solid. And yep, gone to the right hand side, smack the tree. My ball speed there is spiked up to 167, so it's coming faster off the face. On here, I've got 306 carry and 1900 spin. I really want to explore that and see if I can get that on target. When we go more lofted with the driver, we're going to hit the ball and it's going to get higher, great. But it might increase the spin. If I can reduce the loft, pushes the ball and I get less spin, but it might launch too low. So I need to reduce the loft and I need to push that ball up to get really good low spin numbers from the combination of head and shaft. Now the first time I used the shaft, it did hang to the right hand side really easily and it still does that. So can I get through this a bit more and maybe chase it a little bit? I've had to use my hands quite a lot there, but it's not turned over that much. 297 carry, 167 ball speed. It's faster, 2000 spin, 321. Now in terms of the process, I'm not saying you need to go and get an LA golf shaft or you need to go and get this head, but you need to go through this process just to see if there's something more than your current driver. Because at first glance, when I use the Cleveland Launcher XL at 10.5 degrees on its lowest loft setting down to 9, and I use the same loft head in the ZX LS, I'm using the same sort of tools to do the same sort of tasks, so the differences are quite minimal. The ZX5 LS averaged at 311 yards, but my Cleveland Launcher XL was 313, so there's only 2 yards in it. So I'm changing the loft, I'm changing the shaft just to see if there's more out there. Now, if you go and see a good fitter, they'll be able to dial into what you need a lot better. So it does kind of depend on where you go and who you see. But this combo is looking naughty. I've mishit it, hit high draw off the toe, 160 ball speed for a mishit, 284 carry at 2000 spin, and I've just hit half the golf ball 306. Now, it's not the most consistent looking driver. It does hang out to the right if I don't pay attention. So what I'm thinking here is that I could use this because it's a good 10-15 yards longer, maybe a bit more erratic, but if I use this to just absolutely bomb it up there as far as I can, but maybe match it with a 3-wood that's very straight and very consistent. And then I've got 2 different tools for 2 different tasks in my golf bag, because this is a lot of fun to be carrying it nearly 300 yards. Oh, off the heel push. Ah, I hit the tree. The raw data on here, 289 carry, 166 ball speed for a heely push. It's getting up there. 2,500 spin as well. I'd normally get 3,500 for that sort of strike, that sort of swing. I think I need to dial into this to make the most of that extra forward momentum on that shot that I saw a couple of times. Even though it's quite erratic, I'm quite enjoying that difference. Off the heel, horrible strike. Arrow straight, little draw, 293 carry, 163 ball speed, 1900 spin, going through my average on the Cleveland and the ZX5 with the other shaft in it. I might have to do a comparison with the Ventus Velocore shaft again, just to see what the 2 shafts are like on this head, because this is quite good. So while I build the clubs that are in my golf bag, I really want to have a look at a 3-wood that goes more consistently, because I'm having to really give this the beans. Right, let me just absolutely chase one. Whoa. Oh wow, okay. I just need to stop holding back. 170 ball speed, 305 carry. I need to give this shaft everything to get more out of it. That's gone 329 in the sand, and it's gone very straight with my normal little draw that I can kind of predict a lot more on the course. I just can't get complacent on this setup of club. Right, I think I've found my new driver. I want a very consistent 3-wood to accompany it, because if there's a really tight, narrow hole, I need something I can rely on. But I've got a nice group in there with that little draw, actually. Do I just need to tune into this club? I'm mishitting it very well, mishit it. 162 ball speed, 293 carry, 2100 spin. I'm hitting off the top of the face and still getting 2000 spin, give or take, which rocks it up to 314. Meikle. Or do I just keep the Cleveland as a backup, knowing the Cleveland is at 315-ish? Hang on. Right, LA golf shaft. Couple to take out because I hit the tree. Fair enough. Average 318. Average height 44 yards. And then the launcher that I've got in my shaft in, average height 45 yards. Minimal. The difference is 4 yards more carry, 5 yards more run. The spin rate is about the same, to be fair. That's a difficult one. So the Tronos is going faster, maybe because I need to put more into it. Launching lower, spinning slightly less. less, a little bit more carry, a little bit more overall distance, but a bit more spread. Launcher here is a smaller area. LA Golf shaft is a bigger area. I think I want to step it up because I think if I increase my ball speed, this LA Golf shaft is going to keep up with that increased speed very nicely. I'm going to be able to step on it without holding back. Now the thing is, I just need to not hold back. So I think the Cleveland is good where it is good with my current swing. Probably at 5 yards, I don't think it warrants change, but because I know I'm increasing my swing speed, I'm trying to get more ball speed, I'm trying to step up to that next level. This extra speed is a bit more promising in terms of doing that. I think I can grow into this and get more out of it because my longest shot was that much longer than the Cleveland, but my worst shot wasn't quite there. I just need to tune into it. If you went into a fitting and you saw 5 yards extra, what would you do? Would you be buying a new club, or would you be going, actually, I'm quite happy with this shorter one with a variance of 2 yards against the longer one of the variance of 8 yards? What would you do?